go for landing, over. Roger, understand, go for landing, 3,000 feet.
At the end of the decade of the 1960s, a pivotal event in human history took place.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
It changed the world forever. It created a fundamental shift in how we perceived ourselves.
That's one small step for man.
Our planet became a much smaller place. New space-age technologies made it possible for us to jet around the globe quickly and comfortably. All this travel potential became possible to more and more people. We humans developed a keen desire for visiting the exotic corners of the globe. From the seeds of this new human passion, one of the most successful travel agencies was born, Casto Travel. This is their story of 40 years of love and passion for helping travelers reach for the stars. The roots of Casto Travel originate in the Philippines. There, Marilis Casto was born and grew up. Her adventuresome spirit and love of travel originates from this place.
My dad had an airplane, and he would always, I love to fly, so he would take me and probably took my brothers and sisters, but I always remember that. Small airplane, and we'd be flying and we'd be looking at, the skies, and it was just a wonderful experience.
He loved to do dangerous things. He'd look at the clouds. There's thunder clouds all over. I think I see an opening. So let's rush to the airport. He gets into his small plane, and then he has us sit in his lap, and he flies into the clouds.
Yeah, that was the whole feeling of just the freedom, the flying, the just being up in the air quiet. And I love that whole solitude, and it's never left me.
Marilis followed her heart and pursued her ambition for travel by moving to the big city, Manila. She joined Philippine Airlines as a flight attendant and learned the art of service to the customer. Eventually, she became manager of host services.
And today, flying to San Francisco on 803, one thing becomes current.
In those days, service to the airline passenger was of paramount concern.
And you do it with the comfort and well-being of the people whom you serve, always as the one ideal uppermost in your mind.
You're not just flying, Meili.
Kalila, Ohio.
You're flying the friendly skies.
I was with Philippine Airlines for 6 years, and then when I got married, I moved to this country. And at the time, when you were married, you couldn't fly. They would not allow you to fly, so I had to find a job that had to be in the airlines. And I moved to this country, and we didn't have any money, and so I decided that somebody suggested really to work for a travel agency, and that's how I did it. But the one thing I always remembered is that customer service was a passion. It was part of me, and I really wanted to do things on my own. But I ended up working for this agency for 6 years before I made my move to start the company.
In the 70s, internetworking was just being developed, and no one knew what good it would be. Silicon Valley was just starting to take off. Business travel was booming, and the personal computer came into favor. In the midst of this environment, Casto Travel opened its doors and started with humble beginnings.
So with $3,000 investment, my partner and I, opening this little agency, rented this space, and we had no furniture, went to Repo Depot, and there was a big leak in the ceiling, and there I put hanging plants, and then we were open for business, and there was no business. And so I went cold calling, and then found out I was pregnant, and so all of this happened at once.
Well, I think I'm the only employee at Casto Travel that actually has the luck of being considered an employee pre-birth. I was actually, my mom was pregnant at the time that she started the company and was using her belly to help open up some doors for new sales opportunities. So I like to think I should get a little bit of a commission for anything that closed during the course of that time frame.
When businesses start, it's hard to predict future events. Passion and perseverance carries you through, and you forge ahead despite what looks like long odds. Sometimes, good luck and circumstances break in your favor. Prior to starting her own business, Marilis worked at another agency. A rapidly expanding Intel corporation was her client. When Marilis left that agency, she never informed Intel of her move, so as to respect her previous employer's relationship. Then, something happened.
And then a month later, I got a call, and it was Intel Corporation. Apparently something happened with Andy Grove's reservations, and Andy said, I can't believe Marilis made a mistake. And then they said, she's not there. And so we said, find her. That was it. A month after I opened, we got the Intel account, and then we got the Apple account. Steve Jobs was just Steve Jobs. I had no idea he was ever going to be the man of the world, and none of us did. We never paid attention to that. We were just doing what we needed to do. And you know, you can't hesitate. We had a small window of opportunity, and we had to take advantage of it. I had to grow as fast as they can. And, you know, to the point that there was a time when I finally had to say we cannot continue this growth, because we were just bringing people in, and we were just out of control. So I said, no more business until we fix what's wrong with our company. And I think that was the time when Gus came and joined us. Yeah.
And she was looking for somebody to help her out. And so we agreed that I join her company. I joined her company as Director of Finance. I joined her on a Monday. And it got one of the most rudest awakenings of my life. Honestly, I say it funnily now, but it was not fun. Monday morning, I joined and say, you know, so how are things with the accounting department? And they say, it's a good thing you ask. Payroll is due on Friday, and we have $10,000 left in the bank. And I said, what? Out of what? Well, we have $1 million line of credit, but we have $10,000 left in the bank. So I said, effective immediately. No checks go out unless I say so. And then I turned around to accounts receivable, and I said, effective immediately, you will go to every account that owes us money and you will collect. We met payroll. I met Marilis Friday afternoon here with a glass of wine. So she said, how was it? I said, it was hell, Marilis. It was hell. And you know what? I'm leaving your company.
Gus returned to work back at his old job at Intel on Monday. That afternoon, he had a change of heart and was determined to go back and work for Marilis.
At Intel, I was a very small fish in a big ocean. At Casto, I was a bigger fish in a small pond. But the experience was awesome. Where, you know, when you make a decision and you know it's going to impact like 100 people and their families, 200, 300, 400 people, because you made that decision. And it's been that way so close to 30 years now.
Running a successful business is a complex task. It goes beyond just the love of travel. It also requires empathy for your clients and forging a special relationship between all the people who are committed to the company.
We have actually brought to fruition combining a family style with a business style, and actually having that work together, you really feel as if you are a part of a whole.
Here, you don't feel like a number, you feel like part of the family, that everybody knows you, and you feel very comfortable being here.
Casto gives us the opportunity to live our lives. They really do. In addition to working and having a job, you also feel valued and appreciated.
Casto is very personal in the sense that you don't get lost within a huge company.
Really a great place to be. I'm really proud to work here.
Casto's been here 40 years, and the greatest asset are its employees.
Eventually, Marilis and Gus managed to get the company under control, and Casto Travel began to flourish again.
It finally sunk on me. We had opened an office in Palo Alto, and they had just finished the awning, and big Casto Travel name. And they called me and they said, the awning is finished, and so come and see it. And I'm driving my little car, and I turned around in the corner, and I see this big sign, and I thought, I burst into tears, and I thought, oh, finally happened, it's really there. And so these are the kinds of things that, you start being aware of what we have done and what we have accomplished and the people that have made it happen.
The 90s was the decade when the internet usage got underway, and we embraced the wonder of the internet with websites like eBay, Google Search, Amazon, and PayPal. The country was on a roll, and the United States had a surplus of funds in the Treasury. Times were looking good.
I had all my eggs in one basket, which was right here in Silicon Valley. So I wanted to spread that out, and so we went ahead and opened the office in San Francisco so that it balances, and also different kinds of clients. These were all tech clients. I wanted to be up in the city because they were all financial, and the PG&Es were there, and so we balanced that. And then in between that, I decided Palo Alto would be a good place for us to do vacations. So we ended up moving into a Palo Alto office, and we bought a building, and it was a small condominium. And then a month later, 2 months later, we got the Syntex account, which of course was enormous. And so we had to move to another location. I moved almost 19 times. And that's when we started buying agencies. We acquired 8 companies.
How I came to Casto is an interesting story. It's sort of all roads lead to Casto Travel. I worked for 3 years at Travel Arts before Casto purchased Travel Arts. And I also had interviewed at Poly Travel, and Casto eventually purchased Poly Travel. And I also had at one point talked to Riser Group, and they were eventually purchased by Casto Travel. So no matter where I would have ended up, I would have ended up at Casto Travel.
Had my own company for about 18 years. And sold it 15 years ago. And at the time I sold it, I was talking to Mary Les Casto. But in the end, I sold it to Riser Group. And then 5 years later, Riser Group sold to Casto. So when I arrived, Mary Les looked at me and said, I knew we should have been together. So it must have been meant to be.
You have the clients in now, so what else can we provide for them? We never want them outside of the Casto. What can we offer? Because we have all the information about them. So what other products can we offer? And so we started a visa passport service because I did not want any documents to get out of our company. I wanted full control of it. So we started this Casto Visa Services, which has now become a big part of our business. And then the Casto Vacation, so because then we can offer vacations, and then the meetings and incentive, because then we can do the meetings. So it all naturally evolved because of the corporate side of our business, which was really the 90% of our business at that time.
But it was not all a bed of roses. 3 major events happened to the travel business that completely changed the industry forever. The first was the elimination of travel commissions.
You sold a $1,000 ticket, you got a 10% commission, you earn $100. There was no rocket science until Delta decided to do the paradigm shift. I wake up the next morning and commissions have disappeared. Now, what was working in our favor was that several years before that, we had already gotten into the Philippines by acquiring majority control of an existing travel company. So we had a start as far as base of operations are concerned. We started with accounting to try to reduce our operating costs over here. And then it was just a question of trying to identify what can we set up in the Philippines while we are negotiating with the clients in terms of bringing back the revenues that were previously provided to us by the airlines. And now we had to have the clients pay us for the services that they have been enjoying for free.
The second blow was the dot-com implosion of technology companies in Silicon Valley.
When I joined, we hit right into the dot-com crunch. Everything was running extremely high, and then suddenly the funding for all the companies in the Bay Area just evaporated. Literally shortly after that, we had 9/11, which was a cataclysmic issue within our industry. It was the only time in the history of the company where we had no one traveling for 3 weeks straight. While we went through that horrible change, it also was a sign of how strong we are as a company.
9/11 was the death blow to many agencies, except those who knew how to act fast enough and provide the most exemplary customer service possible.
First thing that I could think about is, where are the clients? Where are our clients? So within an hour and a half, we were back in the office. We had assembled a team looking for every client we had. We went ahead and booked every hotel. And I remember we had a big group coming in from Munich, trying to find out where they were diverted, where their flight was diverted. Ended up it was in Toronto. Before that, booked every hotel there was in Toronto, booked every car there was. But we were tracking this. And that is, that's what we do behind the scenes. So you're always in this constant mode of being prepared. And I think that's what we do.
After absorbing many shocks, the travel industry started to get back on its feet again. Looming ever larger was the presence of the internet and empowering individuals to do their own travel arrangements.
We were looking at this whole internet, how it would change our business. And so we had one person, he was our vice president, and we said to him, study the impact of the internet. How is it going to affect our business? And he did. And so we were very prepared for it. We knew that the internet would be such an integral part of our business, and so we embraced it.
Whenever I'm on a plane and I'm sitting next to a person and we go through the standard pleasantries, oh, and what do you do? And I mention, well, I'm in a travel agency. And they say, travel agency, those still exist. I already know what the first 10 minutes of conversation are going to be. Travel agent, do those exist? Well, yes, they do. In fact, they are doing really quite well. But I thought the internet killed all of those. Well, actually, no, they haven't. And if nothing else, it's better instilled what the value is that we provide to the company. It's only really through that competition and through that evolution within the industry, it's given us a chance to better refine what we can do best, better than anyone else.
I've been asked this many times. Aren't you worried, aren't you scared that the internet's going to drive you out of business? I say, absolutely not. In fact, it's one of the better things also to happen to travel. And they say, why? I said, because it opens the world to people. They can plan things on their own. They spend hours, sometimes days on planning. But it opens them to the world, to travel. It will reach a certain point in time where they say, you know what? What's my hourly rate? How much time and effort am I spending on this when I can give my requests, my needs to a travel professional who can deliver that package to me at a fraction of the cost that it's costing me personally. So I said, great, bring it on. The more people use the internet, the better they will appreciate the service that we deliver.
It's the human touch that is the keystone to the Casto Travel business success. The knowledge, quality, and dedication of the employees at Casto make the difference in the success of the company.
Casto prides itself on its employees and their follow-through and the fact that they go the extra mile and that they care.
I think we are all very dedicated to our clients. We're there for them, whether it's to create a dream of a travel experience for them, but also to help them through the issues that might come up while traveling.
It takes our expertise and years of knowledge to find solutions, come up with creative ideas that's going to enhance and make that aspirational idea on the client's part a reality.
A lot of times, they might need to leave maybe next day or maybe in a few hours. We jump over hoops to do this for them, and a lot of times we'll get it done for them, and they're appreciative of that.
Everybody here is an expert at what they do, and they know what they're talking about.
I like to think we give it a personal touch, always. We treat people like people, not like just another person. We try to establish a rapport with them right away, and forming hopefully a lifelong relationship as a customer.
What I can say is to the staff in the Philippines, thank you for what you do every single day. You make me proud. You make us all proud.
It's not been easy over those 40 years. The last 15 years have been challenging. We've had a lot of ups and a lot of downs too. But just the sheer resiliency of the team to keep on reinvesting and doing so is, I gotta be honest, I think it's the biggest sense of accomplishment that I personally have within the company, that time and time again we're willing to give it a chance. And succeed, fail, we do both, but we do it together.
The true measure of the value of Casto Travel is what its customers and vendors say about the company.
One of the things that makes our partnership different with Casto Travel really is about the people who work here. We've had a long-standing relationship with Mary Les and Mark and just about every single person that has touched the staff at Casto Travel for at least the last 25 years.
She's gone through the travails of this business and never has lost sight, while she's building the business and preserving it, never lost sight of what it takes to make the customer happy.
If you focus on your customers and you give them what they want and the service is really great, you're going to have a great future.
You're always there when a traveler needs you. I remember calling you from way out airports. You are always available. I never have to wait for callbacks. And your support is excellent. Anyway, you have shipped me and many of my colleagues here at Intel all over the world. You've always gotten us back, and you always sent us off and greeted us with a smile. You are an inspiration from the standpoint that you have managed to grow without ever becoming a big company.
Management and Mary Les certainly had the vision and continue to have the vision and have their name on the company. But the employees are really the people that make it such a dynamic and great place to continue to want to do business with. And all I have to say to that is hashtag we love you employees and hashtag Mary Les, you are a force. And she did it her way.
The travel industry continues to evolve, and it has, as we've seen over these last 40 years of the history of the company. Our definition of traveler and our clients have changed during the course of it, no question about that. And what it will be in the future is truly stunning to consider. But whatever the next 40 years brings us, whatever that possibility is going to be, is really built upon the history of this company as it is. And is rooted within those core concepts of Mary Les's entrepreneurship, of building this company from really nothing other than a dream, to the camaraderie and the spirit of professionalism that all of our employees have of working together and really wanting to do best by the client. With those foundations, we really can take this company for the next 40 years. Thank you, Mary Les, for building this incredible company, for creating a home for all of us, creating this family for all of us. It is stunning what you have achieved, and I think all of us are in awe by it. So, Mom, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary Les, for being my second mom. Your energy and enthusiasm inspire me to want to come to work every day. Happy anniversary to you.
You've created a wonderfully solid company, and I appreciate it. And now there's two of you, so there's double the Casto.
Thank you. You have always been very kind and generous to me, and you've always made me feel welcome.
I really appreciate your support, you being there, Mark being there, your words of encouragement.
I wish you both continuing years of great joy and happiness in something that you've worked very hard to build up.
Happy anniversary, happy birthday, happy everything. I love you. You are a wonderful lady. You're loyal and thoughtful and honest and forthright and all good things. And it's been a joy to know you all these years, and I'm delighted in your success.
Thanks, Mary Les, for the opportunity. I'm very proud to be a part of the Casto family.
Thank you so much for all the positive support you've given me. We have a lot of fun here, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to work here at Casto Travel, and congratulations on your 40th.
Thank you for hiring me 27 years ago. I spent half my life here, and I'm really glad you hired me. Thank you very much. I love you.
Thank you, Miralles, for an amazing ride.
I want you to know that I really, really admire what you have done. I admire you as a friend. I admire you as a business person. I love you. I think the world of you, and I just don't say it as often as I should. You're terrific, and I hope you continue to be in my life for the next 40 years.
If one thing that you taught me is to always have fun. Yes, you can climb up the corporate ladders, but you really, really need to take the time and appreciate your successes. And you taught me that. And for that, I will always be grateful, because what transcended, it wasn't just the professional successes, it's my personal. And for that, I thank you.
You're a great friend, you're a great leader, you're a mentor, you might not know that. And I want to thank you for everything that you've done for me personally, especially when we first came to San Jose. I really, really do appreciate it. Happy 40th anniversary. Thanks.
Congratulations on 40 years, making it fun and being supportive.
And congratulations on 40 years. That's a real achievement.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me a wonderful place to work for the last 35 years. And I've joked with you about this many times, that I've given you the best years of my life, and it's absolutely true.
It's been a very interesting, very emotionally uplifting 30 years. Looking forward to 30 more years, 40 more years. It's been fun. I love you.